Hello, welcome back to the shed. Yes, back in the room, and the room is getting fuller and fuller by the day. It's an absolute shit fight in here, but ignore that. Alright, so today we are going to work on the outside edge of this battery setup. So I'm going to work out what I'm going to put on the front here. I'm going to mark it all out. As you can see, I drew half a square because that's intelligence for you. I don't know what I was putting on the half a square, but I was putting half a square there. So I'm going to take this apart now, and I'm going to mark this out, and then I'm going to cut them out, then I'm going to carpet it, make up some L brackets on the inside to support it, and put it back together, and then hopefully start to lay out the design on the inside on how that's all going to go. So that's going to be fun, and we're going to do that today. Secondarily, as we go through this process, one thing I'm not putting on here is a lot of switches. Everyone has these big switch panels. I've got no need for it. The Wild Track's got switches for rear external lights, it's got switches for compressors, it's got switches for all sorts of stuff. So I'm utilising the vehicle switches for that stuff. So on here is just going to be the canopy power. So 240 power, USB, USB-C, the screen to see what the batteries are doing, and a couple of other bits and pieces, and that's it. So I'm not going to have a big switch block, I just don't need it. And if I need it in the future, then I'll update it. But at the moment, not required. So let's get this taken apart and get into it. Boom! Now when I put this together, I just use my staple gun, my brad nailer, and it's been duck, 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 so it should be easy to pull apart. Well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am wrong. Maybe it's not. Maybe the brad nailer is actually better than I thought inside of the pipe. Wow, that's actually strong. Alright, get a trusty screwdriver in there. I'm a little surprised by that, it's stronger than I thought. I'm actually really surprised how much these have grabbed on into play. Normally that is fall apart. I done more than 3, that's why I done about 8 bloody nails. That is super strong. I'll be tidying it up, grinding those off anyway, but it's just really tight. There we go. We have it apart. Not without its damage though. But I'll grind all that stuff off and clean that up. That'll be smooth. Boom. This does the job better. Boom. The same along here. Like a boss. Just don't know that these actually are going to hold, glue it all together and stuff. I don't think I need L brackets actually. That was really strong. Alright, so we have our front right here. So now I'm going to lay this all out and shape it up and see if we can work out what's going to go on here. So let's do that. Work out some centre points. 23, which makes 11.5 as the centre. .23, 11.5 as the centre. Just want to get it all nicely centred up so I know exactly where the centre of this is, so we've got it all under control. There we go, we have a centre point, which is good. Now let's see what we got to lay on this thing, eh? So this is what's going on here. This is a product from Autospec. So I'll turn this up a bit so you can actually see me, because it's a bit rude, isn't it? This is a product from Autospec. It's an extension, so a dual outlet extension. Comes with a cable, quite a long one by the look of it, which plugs into your inverter. That plugs into the back of that, and happy days, you get extended power without an electrician being required. Everything is pretty cool. So basically this is going to be going down here. I want that at the bottom. That's where I started drawing the square. I started drawing the square down there because I want to have the power at the bottom, so anything you plug in, leads run along the ground, they don't hang down in front of the machine. Not the machine, the unit. So I've got a centre point there and there. So I think that's pretty good. What do you reckon? That's going to go there right in the centre. Then I've got a USB and USB-C unit, which is going to have a pretty blue one, and that's going to go right above it in the centre to keep it uniform, like that. You can see that, okay? I've got the Victron Smart Shunt battery monitor, which is going to go right in the middle, up in here somewhere, just like that. So I'll centre that one up, just like that. And then I've got the inverter turn-on switch, which I'll put at the top, up there in the centre. So it's pretty empty board. There's a lot of room later on if I do have to add switches or anything like that. I can just literally cut a hole, bang them in, put them anywhere I want. And I still do have the safety gear, so the likes of this sort of stuff. Disconnect for solar. I know that's not the right thing, but I'm using it. It's got a separate fusing system on the solar. This is literally, I'm going to use it as a solar disconnect, so no energy can come down. And I've got the main battery kill, which I have to put somewhere from the battery through this prior to entering the system. So if shit hits the fan, driving along, something's arcing, you can kill the power to the battery. So I'll find places for those as well. I want to put them on the front, but I think it'll look shit. And obviously there's a look part of this as well. And in red, that'll look really shit. I'll have to buy a black one. Maybe I'll put them at the top. I don't know, but then I have to run extendable cables, and that's a shit fight as well. So let's just work on that theory that they're going to be somewhere here. Groovy. Let's line this up. $58mm. $58mm. That's good, right there. Obviously I'm not cutting that out. I'm just marking and putting down where things are so I can get a visual on it. That's going to be the 240. Cool, that's a 240 sorted out there in the centre. That'll work. Then I'm going to go this magic gadget here. I'm going to go 25mm above, so it's still got a bit of strength in there. Although that's 20mm, that's 20mm is fine. It's going to sit like that. That's going to sit like that, so I'll put a line there. That's my baseline for the bottom. And my side measurements, I know it's not right already. 60mm, so it's got to come over a bit for the centre, I think. 63 maybe. 65, almost there. 65 still. 65, there we go. So that's going to be the square. USB. this one here, do I want to have that to the side? Or to the, probably to everything to the centre, I reckon. Bring that down a bit lower so that if I do need to change it up by putting switches or something on, I can do, I think. The monitor. Right, we're getting there. Now at the top here will just be the Renogy inverter switch, which I think I'll just stuff somewhere like that, which I think is pretty good to being centered right there. 75, 70, over by 2 mil. 72, 74, so 1 more mil. I reckon that's going to be about right there. 73, 73, there we go. So we've got our little box there. Right, oh, that was a bit of a dick move, wasn't it? What did I do there? Oh, the cord got me. There we go, that'll work. Alright, so it's the inverter switch. So that's pretty much how it's going to go. Not too fancy, as you can see. It's all just going to be pretty straightforward. Carpet on there, 240 at the bottom, USBs there, monitor there, inverter switch there, so I can just flick it on and off. And right here will be possibly switches down the future, or possibly maybe the disconnect for the energy systems, but I'd really rather at the back so I don't have to run cables to the front, big long runs of cable. I'll work through that, but that's how we're going to go. I reckon that'll look alright. 45 is on there. I reckon that'll look okay. So let's get into it and get it started. Actually get it done. Just going to work out our final internals now, get that all done. Perfect, that's our monitor cutout. I've done that one there, the 240 cutouts. I now need to do this one just here, which is our USB cutout. Okay, and this is a guesstimate on this one. I reckon that's pretty good right there. There we go, that's pretty good. That's done. And then just the inverter switch, which I've got to find again, right here. The inverter switch will go into the middle of this. That is the size I'm cutting out, so that's perfect. Let's get cutting. Let's cut this shit. I think it's going to be good. Let's hope it looks good though. We'll find out. Let's go. Let's drill that first hole, eh? Every fucking time. Oh, that shits me. But anyway, it came off. That's all that matters. Came off. So that's all good. Let's see if that fits, eh? I hope it does. It's nice and centered, which is good. That'll drop in there. Boom. That'll screw on there. Happy days. We've got a winning formula here, I think. We're underway. Every day, just a little bit more, eh? Just got to do the little, chip it away, just little bits at a time, and you'll get there. So now I'm going to get the USB one out, and the meter and the inverter. I'll get that all done. You don't want to see that stuff, so I'll get that done now, and I'll come back to you when it's finished and show you. I did say I'd come back to you when I'm finished, but it's not somebody who's not done this before. I drilled 4 holes in there, so I can run my my saw. What is it called? Anyway, I'm looking at it. Anyway, my little saw, cut through there to get the corners right. Otherwise, it becomes a bit of a nightmare. So if you haven't done it before, that's why I do it. That's the way I do it. Just try and get in there nice and even. Just thought I'd share that. So progress is being made as we go along. There we go. One more to go. One more to go. So I've drilled it all out, as you can see. Drill, drill, cut, drill, drill. That's got to be made to look prettier, of course, because it's got to be sanded and other bits and pieces. But let's have a bit of a look at it, see how it's going to play out. So pretty much this bad boy can drop in there. This bad boy is going in there. This is going into here. And this is going into here. Now that'll be how it's sitting on the wall. I think that's all I need, and that big gap there will be for my emergency switches if I need it, which I don't at the moment. And that'll be all carpeted, squared off and made to look pretty. So I reckon that'll work out okay. It's just a matter of me now carpeting it, getting it all ready, and tying them all down and making it happen. So let's roll on with that part. Well, what have I done? Oh, it's on top of a can of Coke. Alright, there we go. Alright, that's all done. Give it a light touch up so any flaky bits don't go underneath the glue. The other side doesn't really matter too much, but we'll tidy it up anyway. Alright, we have a frontage. Now we've got that in place, I'm just going to get some carpet, spray it on, do the normal sort of gluey, screwy kind of thing. So let's get that process underway. I have carpet all... This room is just full of shit. Unbelievable. I've got some carpet, I'll grab that, cut it out, get it done. And to give it a really good coating. It's tricky because I want it to stick real well. This is going to be on the front. It's going to be things going to be touched and moved and stuff like that. So a good solid coating can't go astray. I'm pretty sure that is a solid coating. That'll take a little bit of time to dry. It takes 2 to 20 minutes for that to dry, and today's quite a cool day, hence my undiagnosed but something ain't right shirt. Let that dry off till it's touch dry, and happy days. Stick it down, cut it all out, staple it on, and get it ready for the next phase. This is good. This is good. We have a board. We have a board, just like that, carpeted. Got to cut out those and put them on. Let's roll into that part. It's not the most exciting again. Apologies, peeps, but it's got to be done. Got to roll it through. Boom. There we have it. Let's see whether this is going to go together okay. This is going to be the real test. With the padding now, will it all go together quite nicely? So, one way to find out. Let's have a go. Alright, that's on. Oh, I peeled the plastic off. That's on. Let's go to this one. Where's the little winder in the back? There it is. And that goes on like that to get that square. That's far from square. And on the back of that it's got screws. So once you get it square, you screw it in and it will hold it tight, it won't come loose. That looks alright. It's pretty close to square. No, it's not. A mile off. That's better. Right. Next one. That goes into there. It's nice and square. See, it's starting to come together. It's starting to work. I reckon that'll work pretty well. And that one comes with a couple of little screws here. Screwing that in. I don't know where that screws into, but I'll figure that out. That's a little bit funky. That's a bit trick. Look at the Renogy one, which goes through for the inverter. Yes, it's nice and flush as well. Oh, I see. I was using the wrong screws. Alright. These are the screws. The little one at the bottom down here. So I'll screw that in, then this faceplate goes on, so there's a nice blue ambient light behind it. There we go. That looks pretty good, I think. I'm not unhappy with that. I reckon that'll work pretty well. I know it's very basic compared to a lot that you see, but I don't need it to be anything other than basic. So that'll be what you see on the front. Everything you need is there, plug in, you can monitor, turn on your inverter, and go from there. So that's pretty cool. Let's get these all screwed down and finish that off. Now, with that front board finished, it's now going to be time to try and work out how to bolt in the sideboard so we can get it all cut and drilled, ready to actually be putting in there prior to attaching everything to it. So if I put that in there, that's going to sit like that. Okay. So I need to mark out down here. I've got a little foot, so I'm going to get my pen, I'm going to mark that out to cut around that, and then I'm going to work out where I'm going to be drilling in my locations to hold this board to the wall so I don't put any electrical components touching anything of the steel bolts. So I'll grab my pen and pencil, mark all of that out, drill my holes, get that prepared before we start laying this out for the electrical, because I just don't need the drama of laying it all out and then going, oh shit, I've got a MPPT controller on top of a bolt. Doesn't work well. So oh, you can mark it there, bugger it. One bolt up there. Okay, so that's the bottom there. But if I bolt that in the centre down here, I reckon I'll be pretty close to being spot on. Obviously I'll test that with my my level. I'll put a level line between, oh mind you the car's not level so it doesn't make a whole lot of difference, but I'll work out exactly where I'm going in here. That'll be my first hole, my second hole, and my third one is going to go basically in the middle of this board in here, so I can see that one already. That works. And my fourth one, it's pretty much in the same spot. that's pretty good. So I've got four holes that I can mark out. I'm going to drill them and see how close I am. Hopefully pretty close, and then get this board not put on the wall, but get it prepared to be put on the wall. So make sure it's all there. Then I can lay this in. Let's do that. So I ended up drilling 3 holes, not 4, because I think these have got 300 kilo braking strength, so I don't think we need a ton and a bit of strength to hold this thing up. So don't think that's required. But I do have my stuff cut down. I'll trim those down a bit as well. So I'm going to try and see if I've done my cut right. If I've totally munted it, which is probably likely. So in my infinite wisdom, I didn't countersink these like I had to on the other ones. So I'm going to go and countersink these down to sink the bolts into the actual timber, countersink these down so the bolts sink in. Because at the moment they're going in, but they're not going in enough to actually do anything. So I'll get the drill out and do that. Alright, so I put some countersinks on these. I'm trying to verify if I can actually get these somewhat started before I go any further. What I mean by that is they're quite difficult to get in behind. So if I can't get them in behind, then I have to work out another strategy. That's as far as I've got to go there. To get these next ones in. I don't know how close I am either. This is the hard part, right? There's nowhere to put your arm. And this part of the rail doesn't have the bloody thing in it, which is painful. I wish it did. Yeah, that's going to be a nightmare. When I've got all the electrical stuff on it, this system trying to put it through these rails is going to be an absolute bastard. So what I might do is do the first one, take that one away, and just do the second one up here. See if I can get this one in the hole, which I did. I reckon that's going to be enough. What do you reckon? I reckon those 2 bolts will be enough to clamp that on. That's going to go nowhere, in my view. Please share your opinion with me on that one. They've both got 300 kilo ratings. They're 600 kilos of weight. It's only going to be bouncing weight, and they're going to be tight. They'll have washers on them as well. So I think that's more than enough. I don't think I need to worry about that too much more. So 1, 2, get those done. Ignore that. I'll make that look pretty. I'll paint them anyway. And that is it. So with that, I'll grab the other sitting there. I reckon that looks pretty stylish. Actually, that doesn't look too bad at all. It'll pull on nice and tight. That is on the piss, right? I can see that's on the piss, so don't worry about that. So obviously that's where the battery stuff's going to go, all on the back there. That's going to be bolted on with those 2 bolts. I'm not going to go any further with that. I just don't think it's necessary. I think I'm just going to get stupid if I keep going with it. And I reckon that'll look okay. These have all got to be wiggled. They're just screwed in, so they've got to be wiggled up, so that'll be fine. I've drawn my step ladder. Good old bucket. I know they go on now, so that I can actually go to the next phase. So the next phase, as you guys are aware, is to actually lay out the 12 volt and go through the process. So that'll be my next video. The next video will be laying it all out, screwing it down, and try to get an idea of how this is actually all going to go together. This was my next part, so that's the end of this one. I'm trying to keep them short because they're just, you do a 57-hour long video and no one wants to watch it. So just do little short ones, keep it all up to date, and keep it regular. So done that one. That's all I'm going to do for today. So I'm going to tidy those up. You don't need to see that. Paint them black again, make them look right, take it all apart, and get it ready to go. And then the next one will be laying out the 12 volt, which will be interesting. So thanks for watching again. It is very much appreciated. We do like you watching and having comments, and it feels like you make some mates out of this stuff. It's kind of strange. When you get people talking to you, you feel like they're your friends. It's really odd, but it's also really cool. So anyway, feel free to follow along if it's interests you. If not, thanks for watching anyway, and we'll catch up with you on the next one. Which shouldn't be too far away. Cheers guys, stay classy.